Good morning. This is Gaming Perspectives with
Saul
and Jolene. And today we are talking about it's a new year and there are new RPGs coming out in 2026. Is that what are they new ones that are coming out?
Yes.
Okay.
There are new games that are coming out. They're not additional rules or second editions as far as I know. And some of these I kind of knew about, and some of these I had to actually look them up. And a lot of these, there's a whole bunch of games that's coming out. I just picked ones that sounded interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
So these are just like 10 games that you saw?
Yes.
Okay.
10 games. And some of them I had heard about, and I'm like, thought about buying, thought about it, thought about kickstarting it. But
he always thinks about kickstarting it.
I don't think I've kickstarted or plan on buying any of these. Or not plan on buying it, but have not bought into it or whatever. But anyway, let's start off with number one. These are no particular order. There's no rhyme or reason as why I put them in this order, but they just came to me. The first one
they came to him
is Terry Pratchett's Discworld. Well, I know there's a sub. What is it? A sub
Reddit
title.
Oh, subtitle.
A subtitle, but I didn't write it down.
Oh, well, I know two people that would be happy if you ran a Terry Pratchett Discworld adventure.
Now, why would I run it? Because I'm not a particularly great fan of Terry Pratchett, so you would think a fan would be a better one.
I'm just telling you, there's two of us.
People, at least two people. So Terry Pratchett, if you don't know, wrote this Discworld series. It is I wouldn't say parody, but it is a comedic fantasy novels, right? Set on a Discworld, a flat Earth, and the rest on the back of 4 giant elephants in space, and which stand on top of a giant turtle.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
believe.
Yes,
that's how it works. The first one I've read, and the only book I read, was Guards, which is actually pretty funny. And it does do a lot of the fantasy trope, makes fun of the fantasy tropes of things that happen in fantasy books. And he was a very smart guy. He was a very funny guy. But sometimes that English humor was just a little bit too English for me.
Not me. I love
this book. Love that. The book obviously pays homage to the way Terry Pratchett wrote. They call the system the narrativium system. And instead of narrative dice or whatever, that makes fun of this idea that it's just funny, I guess, because Jolene laughed about it. It seems like a real simple game. You re-roll a D4, a D6, D10, maybe a D8 even, and you just roll. The player just rolls, and the GM always rolls a D8. And if you roll higher than the GM did, then you succeed in what you're doing.
And what do they call the D8?
They don't call it anything because they don't want to mention it for some reason.
But they say
it's a die between. It's a number between. It's a die between D7 and D9. That's what they call it.
Which is funny.
Is this okay? Exactly. So the humor sometimes I don't get. So the GM decides, depending on the traits that the character has, whether to up or down the die type that they roll. And
so it's just it's a totally different system. I mean, it's its own little system. Okay,
system.
Well, that makes sense. It's Discworld.
It is exactly. I think that's why it's appropriate, I guess, to people who are fans of.
When that comes out, when someone runs it at a convention that I can go to, I want to go play that one, Michael. Unless you get it,
I think somebody might be running a DungeonCon.
Oh,
I hate to say. I think there's one game being published by Modiphius. Some people hate Modiphius. Some people don't like Modiphius. Anyway, this is a totally different set. Doesn't use their 2D20 house system. And by all intents purposes, it looks like they're going to use Terry Pratchett's way of what is not way of, but his comedic style in writing it.
Why would anybody hate Modiphius?
Well, some people don't like the 2D20 system.
I like the 2D20
They did too crunchy, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Doesn't matter. That's coming out, I think, I don't remember. But it made a ton of money off the Kickstarter. I think it was £2.4 million.
Wow.
But the thing is, when you get a good IP, you can get a lot of money off of the the Kickstarter for RPG.
Right.
Like another huge one was Avatar Legends. It was I forget what system it used. Did I write that one down?
Yes, you did.
A lot of times when they're attached to a super popular IP, especially if it's like comic or anime, it might attract those people who just want to collect everything that has to do with that thing.
Not only collect it, but if they're role players, then they're going to want to play in it.
But some,
like, I'm just going to say, when I played in a Doctor Who game,
Oh, yeah.
all the people in that game were like total Doctor Who fans.
I understand. Yes, I agree. I know.
Same with Star Trek.
Yes. So there's sometimes those kind of IPs that just make a company a ton of money, and obviously 2.4 million pounds would do pretty good. And I think there's Terry Pratchett one. What's the other guy? Oh, Monty Python. It made a ton of money too. I think that's the game that I see on the Dungeon Con.
Oh, not the Terry Pratchett one?
Not the Terry Pratchett one.
Oh, I'm sad.
I don't think it's out yet. They probably
So that's cool. What's the next one?
Ghost in the Shell. Now, this is an old anime movie back from, I think, the late 80s.
Okay.
It's a futuristic. People are in these police squads that hunt down really nefarious people who by the description of the RPG are enemies that could affect like a state, like a nation, destabilize them and stuff. So there's these special squads of police that go after these type of criminals and try to stop them. And they're not obviously normal people.
And so this is a Kickstarter or something, and what's the system?
Forged in the Dark.
Forged in the Dark.
Yeah, it is it's kind of like a hybrid of Apocalypse World. It's the one with all the clocks and dials that as you work on something. It's the one. Forged in the Dark is where you are a bunch of scoundrels or working a gang. But in this case, you're a good gang because you're a police squad and you're trying to solve all these crimes and stuff. And there's time limits as to when you're going to be able to complete something and when you. And in the midst of all that, you are chasing down criminals and foiling their diabolical plots. So again, this is a big IP. It was a comic and it was anime, and this is an old one. And I don't know if there was ever an anime series. There had to be, but I really liked the movie when I saw it. It was one of the first anime movies, and it was one of the first ones I liked, and one of the few ones I've liked actually. So very good movie. So check it out. Then we go Outgun Superheroes. So Outgun is a rules light system, sort of. It is heavy into action, heavy into cinematic action.
It's a pretty cool game to play in.
Yeah, it's kind of like some people call it a successor or a counter to Feng Shui. So,
which is also a pretty good game to play in.
So, which is, there's a lot of things happening. You defy real world laws of physics. It's movie physics, right? You're literally,
you can walk down the street and all the bullets don't hit you.
Right, and then you can jump over cars and
you can have your van do flips.
It's crazy stuff. So that's so instead of just adventure movie types, there's superheroes, and there's a lot of people who love superheroes, the genre, and there's a lot of people who would like to play in superhero games, but there doesn't seem to be that many superhero games out there now. I'm sure there's a ton of them, but none of them have really like overtaken this system called Hero, and Hero is extremely crunchy, right? It's like the GURPS of superhero genre. Now there's Mutants and Masterminds, which is based on D&D, and that's heavily changed because the first one was D&D-ish, and then the third edition, they did away with a lot of the bells and whistles that made it a D&D that you could recognize as D&D. But still, Outgunned Superheroes, I think it feels...
What do you roll, or what's the system for Outgunned?
It says remember you roll the dice, and you try to get pairs or triples and quadruples.
I just want to, is it called something, or is it just
called Outgunned Superheroes?
No, I mean, is the system called?
I don't know. I don't remember what the system
is
called.
Only particular to Outgunned, or okay?
Yes.
I remember trying to get the pairs and triples and stuff like that.
Okay, some of you were upset that you guys had like a full house, but it didn't mean anything.
Well, it was we had never done it before, so
Yes.
we were trying to figure it out as we went.
Yes.
Okay, what's the next one?
Attack on Titan, which actually is weird because we've been watching. My son has made us watch Attack on Titan, the anime series, cartoon. Yeah.
No, it's anime.
Whatever, cartoon. And at first I was like, oh my God, why are these big things eating people? And it's kind of a graphic anime, you know, people are being munched on. And then slowly but surely I was like, oh yeah, I see the Titans aren't really all that important. It has to do with the people who are the main drivers of the plot. And of course, like my son said, don't get too attached to any of the characters because they all get killed and munched on sooner or later. And much like the show, you play these people who are trying to combat the Titans from taking over the world and eating everybody.
So should you have extra backup characters for this one?
I don't know. It's based. It uses the Year Zero engine, right?
Okay.
Which can be very deadly, or it can be very forgiving, depending on how you play it or how it's designed. I don't know exactly how it's designed. It's being made by a group is called Panini Comics, and they are an Italian company.
Has it made a lot of money too?
I'm not sure it is
Out yet?
or even kickstarted. I didn't look that up. They're in cahoots with Need Games, which is a developer, and they developed the Fabula Ultima, which is a Japanese RPG.
So the Year Zero engine is
D6 Dipole, like Tales from the Loop.
okay. I was just making sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool.
So in that system, it's you could make it very deadly, or you could make it very that you can really save your bacon quite a few times. And there's quite a few times when in the anime where the real heroes can pull something out of the hat and be able to,
The main characters, you mean?
main characters
Yeah.
to be able to stay alive.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. It looks interesting, and it popped into my head and it came into my field of vision because I've been watching the anime series, and I think we just finished
I think we're on the third season.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Augustine wants us to finish it before he goes back to school. So
know,
there's going to be a lot of Attack on Titan this week.
Invincible RPG. It is a cartoon. Also, it was also a comic. It's that real where I think they're bad guys, right? The Invincible. I think I saw the first episode, and it's basically like Superman. You know, this guy's like a Superman invincible, and then he decides like
to be a bad Superman.
Yeah, because like he's Superman, who there's no consequences. So what can they do to him? So it's a very interesting game. Also uses the Year Zero engine, and for some people who really, I mean, they really like that show, it's something that might draw them to it. It's a superhero game, of course, because you play different.
So that's two superhero games that you have put out there.
Outgun superheroes and Invincible. I'm sure they have examples of the characters that are in the comics, but they say you can make your own. Obviously.
Okay.
I put down 5th edition ports, like 5th edition games, new games, but they use
5th edition
rules. Traveler, I told you there's a 5th edition.
Yes, he did tell me that.
And Traveler is this, obviously it goes back to 1977, I think, and it's super popular, but why not try to expand on your player base and sell some books and join the 5th edition frenzy?
I don't know if this is going to bring more people to play Traveler or not. I think a lot of people that play Traveler enjoy the 2d6 system.
Yes.
They probably like not knowing if their character is going to make it through their creation process, and they probably have figured out all the tweaks to get their character to be able to do stuff in the current versions of Traveler.
Right. The thing is, I think there's a ton of background material for Traveler.
Yeah.
That is usable without the rules, right? You don't need the rules for stellar maps, descriptions of planets, descriptions of star nations and travel routes and all that stuff. That all stuff is, you can use it for
so
any. So
if your players are competent at 5th edition, or it seems easier for them,
right,
for those kind of, I'm going to be interested to see how they port or how they make the aspects and stuff.
There is no classes in
That's
Traveler,
what I'm,
right?
yeah.
But they do have like the scouts, the
Yeah.
Marines, and
I just want to
Navy.
see how the rules come out for 5th edition
Yeah.
that way. That should be interesting.
Also jumping on the 5th edition bandwagon is Warhammer Fantasy.
Mm.
That dark and grittiness. How's that going to port into 5th edition where you're playing heroic fantasy, and Warhammer Fantasy is everything but heroic?
Now, this may be a silly question, but we were one time playing it at a convention with a Star Trek game. Jonah was running it, and we ran into this big giant ship.
Yes.
Was that a Warhammer ship?
Yes.
And I know that you guys told me that when we were playing, but I just remembered it. That's my only experience with Warhammer, and it was okay because it was a Star Trek one. It seems a little dark and gritty for me, but a lot of people love that.
Also coming out, now I'm not sure what happened with this one. Maybe it's not coming out in 2026. It's Fantasy Star 5th edition, which is based on a Fantasy Star, is a old computer game, console game. First time I saw it was Fantasy Star 3, and it came out for the Sega Genesis system.
I've never heard about it, so there you go.
But the Sega Genesis was pretty old, and this was Fantasy Star 3 is when I got it. So it's an old game based on obviously Japanese computer game. Been around forever. They still come out with new versions of it. It's has a huge following.
And these are all 5th edition.
These are all 5th edition
ports.
And this one is not 5th edition, but it's kind of OSR-like, but I'm sure they use some sort of 5th edition stuff in it. Deathbringer, this guy called, he runs a YouTube channel called Dungeon Craft.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming out with his own set of rules. It is Deathbringer, right?
Yeah.
So I think he's going to
Deathbringer RPG.
Yeah, he's going to come out this year. He's going to kickstart it.
2026.
Yes. Night Hunters is a gothic horror game. Again, I'm not sure how... With a game like D&D 5th edition, there's levels and stuff, and there's that power creep they talk about, and how you're going to maintain the gothic horror part. So moving away from 5th edition ports, there is number 7 on my list, Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is based on a very not famous, but very popular series of books. Now, I've seen those at the bookstore. They're like really thick books. And it's a series where the characters go into a dungeon to clean it out, and it's like a game. It's like a game show game, and they're in it to see who can go the farthest, kind of thing. And it's a series of books. I have not read them. I have been deterred by the thickness of the books that I see. It's going to go in backer kit in April. And they have a countdown. If you go to Dungeon Crawler Carl RPG, it'll lead you to the backer kit page. And I think if you're a fan of this series of books, you might be interested in how they're deciding to make it. I don't have much information other than that they have a backer kit instead of this. A backer kit is instead of Kickstarter. It's a crowdfunding platform. It used to be the logistics program for people who had a Kickstarter. They go to BackerKit and they would handle all the check your email. They would make sure that they knew where you're going, and then they would ship it and all that stuff. But they decided to do their own type of crowdfunding.
Okay. Number
8 on my list is Wandering Blades. Now, this is an OSR style. The idea is a simplified OSR, right? So instead of 6 attributes, they only have 4. And all the stats start out at 10. And you roll 4 6-sided dice, and you assign 1 die to each of the attributes that you get. So it's sort of pretty random, right? But you're never gonna have like a weakling character that's gonna negatively impact your stats.
Okay.
And the stats are very it's Wandering Blades is about like a Japanese that type of an adventure that
like samurai
type of things. You play I think there's like 3 different classes. They want the idea is that you don't look at your character to be able to figure out what you can do. You tell the GM what you're doing and how you're doing it. So that's kind of like the whole that's why it's OSR style. of type of gaming. They do have a sort of a 5th edition advantage and disadvantage thing, but they don't call it that. They call it what is it? Let me look. Amplified, and another one's hindered. But because it's OSR style, you get pluses and minuses and stuff. So if you're amplified, you get a +5 to your hit or whatever you're trying to do, and if you're hindered, it's a -5.
I see.
It looks interesting. I think they're going for frenetic action. They want like you could play a samurai, a bandit, and so you are a group of men, Ronin, I guess you would say, and the what is it, the Seven Samurai kind of movie, Kurosawa, the what is it, the Magnificent Seven. You're out there trying to
do something.
Right wrongs or whatever. I'm guessing you're playing good guys, but that might be my own interpretation. Anyway, I've always been interested in playing a RPG set in feudal Japan. And I've actually been looking at a game called it's Legend of the Five Rings, the one I'm thinking about. So they have 5 different editions of it. The first 3 are easy to get. The 4th one, which is they say is the best one, is absolutely hard to get, and it's like the book sells for like $250.
Well, let's not get that one.
And the 5th edition, they changed everything, all the way the mechanics rolls, and all that stuff. A lot of it wasn't. I don't think it was very well received.
Oh,
so they came out with it. They're coming out with a 6th edition. Anyway, Legend of Five Rings. There's a couple other RPGs out there that deal with feudal Japan, like mythical feudal Japan, and I was gonna settle for Legend of the Five Rings 3rd edition, which is a book I actually was able to buy for like $10-15, and I was gonna have Ian try to run it because he's really into Japanese history and art and stuff. I think he's even took Japanese courses.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, so I'm really interested in this genre. I've been interested for quite a while, and this looks like it might be an easy entry into the genre. It's called Wandering Blades. Well, Wandering Blades tells you what they do.
They wander with blades.
Wander with blades.
Next one?
Eldritch Automata.
I'm sorry?
Eldritch Automata. Automata. So Eldritch is like Cthulhu horror. Mm-hmm. And then Automata is like automatons or something along those lines. So basically you play mechs, but in an Eldritch world type of setting. Now the Eldritch world type of setting really doesn't do anything for me, but playing big mechs and kind of like in that, with that side genre of just playing big mechs is interesting. It is using the Year Zero engine, just 4 attributes. A lot of, almost all Year Zero have 4 attributes. They have 12 skills, right? 3 skills per attribute. 3? Yeah. And you can make a character in 10 minutes, it says.
Year Zero, is that
that's like the dice pools,
like Tales of the Loop?
Tales of the Loop and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think they kind of take the Tales of the Loop, was it the Tales of the Loop model instead of like the Blade Runner model? Because if you make a Blade Runner character, it'll take you like 30 minutes to an hour, because it's just more intricate and in depth. This one you have 12 archetypes. So archetypes make the game or make the character creation go super fast. Usually, at least it is for
Tales of the Loop.
Tales of the Loop, yeah. You can make a game. You can make a character in 10 minutes in Tales of the Loop, no problem. 15 minutes if you have a player that is like
that wants to have questions
or doesn't understand much, right? It's the only system I ran that I've had at a convention where I made the characters at the table. And about half the players had never played. Well, none of the players had played Tales from the Loop. All they had played was Pathfinder, I believe.
It's pretty easy to make a Tales from the Loop character because you just pick whatever you called it, an archetype.
Yes.
So you pick your archetype, and then it's pretty simple.
You just
choose.
Change it. Or, what is it? Fine tune it a little.
Yeah.
Bit. You got points to spend and stuff like that. Yeah, so it looks very interesting. Like I said, Year Zero engine, super easy. It looks like they're taking the easy tact or the simplified tact instead of the more in-depth Blade Runner. Hopefully they use the 6-sided dice pool instead of the step die, like in in Blade Runner, and I think Twilight 2000 uses the step die where you go from a D6, D8 to D10, depending on how skilled you are in it. Interesting. I like it. I keep an eye out for that one. I am. This one's interesting. It's called Rust Wings.
Rust Wings?
Rust Wings.
Okay.
It uses the Mouse Ritter system, and Mouse Ritter is where you play a mouse, right? And you deal with mouse problems, right? And they have what people really like about it is the inventory system, because on your character sheet there's little blank squares, and you DM or you can make them yourself. You cut out, usually there's items stuff,
Right.
and the GM just hands you the items that you want, or like let's say you find something and it's the treasure or whatever, and you pick up there's little cards that fit in the slots on your sheet, and that's the inventory system. That's what people really love that idea, because it's people don't have to have a list of stuff, figure out how much it weighs. No, this thing is this big, weighs that much, so you can only carry this one. You can have a backpack and stuff. So, but the interesting part of Rust Wings is that you play a teen, in a world like high somewhere, like on cliffs, and you fly down. You make an airplane or a plane out of scrap material, and you fly down to an area where civilization has retreated from, and you scavenge things and you build things there, and then you try to bring stuff back to your home. Interesting idea. I thought it was interesting. It looks kind of anime-ish.
What kind of system is it?
Mouse Ritter is a system, and it's really the system itself is really easy.
Okay, I don't think I played that.
No, I've never played it or ran it, but I do have the PDF of it.
Of course you do.
Of course I do. And I thought about running it a couple times, but I decided to make my own rules. Remember, I made Glenn and Glades.
Yeah.
Using the Year Zero engine, and so that's why I did. But this one looks interesting. It's an interesting concept. It's kind of like a post-apocalyptic, and I guess it's a little bit more lighthearted because you're playing a teenager, and I think it'd be interesting. So these 10, a little bit more games that I see that are coming out in 2026. I was going to say 2025.
Oh my,
I'm a year behind. It's just I would say maybe.
It's just what you saw. You just picked 10 of them.
Yeah, there's a list. If you go to, let's say, a good people that make a list is EN Publishing. They have a list of the games coming out in 2026. I was going to say 2025 again. And it is quite extensive.
When he says EN Publishing, he means E as in eat.
Yes.
Not Ian as in a name.
Right. The letter EN Publishing, and those guys are pretty cool. They're in England. It's run by this guy called Morrissey or something like that, and he publishes like a magazine, and he's got into this. He self-publishes a lot of stuff. I think he made.
Is it an e-zine or is it an actual magazine?
Well, no, there's no physical magazine.
Okay, just making sure.
It's a e-zine, you're right. But they went from just doing news, and because they're primarily, and they have a podcast.
Yes.
enpublishing.com. Maybe it's called something else. But anyway, they have a podcast, and they do news. They do like news, industry news coming up, games coming out. And so he's doing that. And they also came out with their own like D&D system called Next Level or something like that. And they come out with all kinds of stuff. And what's interesting about them is when they make a Kickstarter, they as soon as usually for the most part, I think that they do this 100% of the time. When they're done with their Kickstarter, they immediately send you the PDF of whatever they're doing because it's already made.
Right.
So there's no so you're basically funding the publishing of the physical book. Yeah. If you want it, or you can just get a PDF of it. And if you get a PDF, they send it to you right away. And so their fulfillment, he brags about it. He says, "Well, you get your stuff right away as soon as the crowdfunding ends. You get your PDF," which is actually pretty neat. So and of course their books, you can find their books in the stores, I think, in the game stores, I'm sure. But they are in England, so I don't know
About
how
shipping.
often they come all the way across the water, the pond. And but he comes out with a huge list of games, and he also comes out with, but he separates them from much like I did. He separates the list from new games like never been published, and editions or second editions or later editions, new editions of games. So there's another list of games of stuff that are just new editions, like Alien second edition, even though I think that already came out. I'm not sure, but you know what I mean.
Now that you've gone off on a tangent,
Now that I've gone on my mandatory tangent of one per episode, yes, yeah, go ahead and go to the website, check them out. They're pretty cool. They also have their forums and stuff, so it's a very popular.
and
website.
they have new games on there that are coming out in 2026.
Yes.
Okay,
And yes,
and not just theirs, but other people's
not just
too.
theirs. Yeah.
Okay.
So they're a legitimate news RPG news entity.
So if you want to know what new games are coming out, you could go there or look on the internet or Kickstarter.
Yeah,
or something.
you could look at that list and then look it up on the internet what the game is. If any of them sound interesting.
So there's lots of new games.
Lots of new games. Who knows how popular if they'll be able to be Kickstarted or not. Some of them obviously are not even made yet. Some of them are just ideas like Dungeon Crawler Carl.
So if you want to get new games, there you go.
There's going to be a whole bunch of them.
There you go. This is Gaming Perspectives with
Saul
and Jolene.
You have a good day.